Going live. Okay, gonna share. Copy. Hello, anyone who's watching the playback. What I'm doing right now, I just went live. I'm copying the link, bringing it over to Patreon, creating a post in Patreon. Paste. Live stream link. Direct link to open YouTube and engage. Edit. Paste. See you soon. Or maybe not see you soon because I'm here now. That's misleading. Hugs and kisses. Jillian. Okay. This is for patrons only. Publish now. Publish now. Okay. I think that's good. Let's just make sure it works. Gotta close it because I cannot stand to look at two things with my own face. Hello. How's it going? Just getting out my cards. I don't know if you can tell, but I just woke up like 45 minutes ago. This is true bedhead for me. Hope you're having a great day. Get this out of my face. Poop. Hello. Sorry for the lighting. It's just like always bad. I'm doing some rearranging in my house where I'm going to have a studio again, and it won't have to be in my bedroom with this like giant window that always seems to love and to come in and blind us. Hey, Samantha. Samantha, could you let me know if you could hear me okay? I always want to make sure of that because could you imagine going through all of this and no one can hear you? So I opened the room. I don't even know. That's what we call it in Zoom. It's like opening a room. So it's the words that I'm using, I guess. But, oh, good. Thank you. Hey, Sarah. How's it going? How are you? Let me take a sip of my coffee. I opened a little early so we could kind of like come in casually, hang out a little bit, and get started. Hey, Julie. So I didn't sleep very well last night. My son has been sleeping in my bed, which isn't unusual. He usually wakes up at some point in the night and like will come into my room, which I'm totally fine with, like not a big deal. But for the past like week, he's been very like mommy attached, like even more so than usual. So I've been kind of like just like, all right, like you can sleep in here, no big deal. But last night was one of those nights where he's just like kicking and moving all around, and I think that because it's been so long that my sleep has been disturbed like for so long at this point, I was like, oh, like what is going on? How is this life? Hey, Rachel. Hey, Celia. Hey, Jason. Olivia. Hello. Bill. Hey, what's going? Oh my gosh, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Galter. That's a beautiful name. I would love to know how to pronounce it, and I am so sorry. I have, as you know, dyslexia, but it comes out for names so bad. Like I'm trying to like spell something out loud like phonetically, and like the words are like the letters are like legit like moving around. Hey, Kelly, how's it going? Hey, Jen. Oh my gosh, look at you guys. You're all early. Jen, you're early. I feel like Jen's like I made it, like. So just shuffling some cards, just chatting, nothing big, just opening it up, opening the space. Oh, okay, cool. Like Walter. Thank you for the easy reference. So I don't know if you've seen, I'm sure a lot of you have, but I posted a couple of videos yesterday or the day before on YouTube. One was just like a share about like a bit of a depressive period that I'm in. I'm okay. I don't want anyone to worry about me truly as much though. Like, let me say how grateful I am for the support and for the people who reached out. And, you know, I haven't replied to everybody because I need a little time for myself. You know, that's okay. But I just want to say thank you so much. You know, like I'm good. That's funny. It's just like I'm acknowledging that like I'm a little not low in my energy, because like I said in the video, like I feel very big. Like I feel like my energy field is like this, almost like cumbersome in a sense. Maybe that's not the right way to say it, but I feel very like like connected and empowered. So I'm not complaining about that. It's a different kind of depression, I guess. It's more of just like, you know, wrapping things up, this kind of, I have this like romanticized thing that keeps playing out in my head, like, oh, like remembering different things. I'm sorry that I'm not describing it well, but you know, just like acknowledging that like mentally, like I need to move a little slower, or there's going to be days like tomorrow where I plan to do all this stuff. And I was like, you know what, like today's the day to actually like take off today, you know, rest, relax, spend a lot of time with Bamba and kind of go from there. So I hope that whatever stage or however you're feeling, I hope everyone is feeling great. Hey, Lacey. Hey, Kelly. Oh my gosh, you guys are the best. I hope that if you're going through anything, that you're okay, first of all, you know, and I hope that, you know, you're not alone. And I hope for everyone that we can see, you know, it's hard to talk about, right? Because I never want to sound like, oh, like it's a blessing in disguise or whatever. But like, you know what? It's more empowered for me to think that way. It's more empowered for me to know and trust that it's okay. You know, like we have downs, we have ups. It's part of it. Acknowledge it, honor it. But like, it's okay. You know, it's okay to feel that way. However, it's the reason it's difficult for me to talk about it is because I know other versions of myself in depressive periods. If somebody had said that, I would have been like, who is this bee over here? You know, like, yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. This is what I asked for. Or, yeah, this is what was going on below the surface. So everything is going to be fine in like a couple, like, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? So I wanted to just pull, a card just jumped out. Two cards just jumped out. I'm going to leave them out. I just wanted to pull some cards while we're kind of getting started and waiting for anybody else. Hey, Chloe. Rachel, did I say hi to you yet? I feel like there's two Rachels here. Hi. Yeah, sorry. Sorry for my jumbly. I'm like, cards, talking, watching this. Yin yoga focuses on muscle, fascia, super for men. Oh, I didn't know that either. Yin yoga. Is that like more in line with what I would call or closer to like restorative yoga? I'm curious. All right. So the two cards that jumped out, I wasn't even asking questions. I was just like, I want to pull a few cards while we're waiting. We got the King of Cups. Oh, and yesterday, so like I had to take off my like cute nails and I had to do it myself because I was like, I can't like go to the salon right now. Like I don't have time. So I had to like soak them. It was like a gross experience. And now my fingers feel so short. So I'll show you. 10 of Swords. Oh my gosh, right? Who was this week? You know, there's so much to surrender to. And the King of Cups, it's such a good card. This card is wonderful. This card is very like, again, like romantic to me, as in like a kind partner, a kind friend, a kind support, someone who has resources, someone who is very emotionally intelligent. I don't know. I'm feeling like a kind of love or support in some way thing with the King of Cups here. So perhaps this kind of goes without saying, right? So for those of you who don't read tarot, swords represent mental stuff, like mental thought. And when we have this image and this, overwhelming kind of, it's this one is very, this is like one of the cards that like, this is the reason I don't use tarot with everybody, because like if somebody saw this card, they'd be like, what the fuck? But this is more of like, what have we been feeling? Because these are what jumped out. So of course it's not for everybody, but this overwhelm, this mental, and like it's telling you to rest. It's telling us to rest. I feel again like, and I'm kind of calling from a word that came up before, which was like in the videos that I made, or at least one of the videos that I made, but kind of surrender. Like if there's fear, if there's just overwhelm, if there are things playing out in your mind, if there is physical things coming up that you are now have to process, I really just want to encourage us all to let ourselves feel it, to let ourselves get hit by it, not as in like, okay, now I'm defeated, but like let it pass. If any of you have, I'm sure many of you have been to the ocean or live by the ocean, but when you're in the ocean and a wave is coming, you go under the wave, like you let the wave come. You don't like run away from it, or like sometimes jumping over it doesn't really work if it's like a tough one, but you feel there's like a safeness in like going under. And that's just what I'm feeling here, but it's not necessarily emotional. It's more of like a mental surrender. So it's like acknowledge that fear. Someone's popping in my head right now, of course. And I can share this story of my teacher and I. So my Reiki teacher, Joanne, I never say her name on YouTube because God forbid, like someone went to like harass her, like she's not on YouTube. If she was on YouTube and she had a channel and I could direct people there, that would be a different story. But she's like a local in her town, like Reiki teacher. Like she's amazing. Her name is Joanne Kelleher. She is absolutely amazing, like so great. She has a ton of students, obviously. I don't know if that's obvious to you, but she has a ton of students. And I don't really like to bother people, and it's not this like, oh, I don't want to bother you, but like I can acknowledge and see like when someone's very busy, or when someone has a lot of people after them, or like needing their support. So I'm kind of like a hands-off student with her, like I when I lived there, I would go see her when I could. But in general, I just send her a little note once in a while, or I'll tag her in something. When I wrote the book, like I put her name in there and stuff. But in general, hey, Linda. In general, hey, Angela, Jenny, hey, wonderful. Charlotte, oh, so nice to see you guys. So that said, like I don't really reach out to her and like ask her for help very often, but I had a cancer scare a couple of years back. So it was actually an interesting experience. So I wasn't really taking care of myself in a holistic way. I was letting my diet get kind of minimal, as in a lot of processed foods and stuff like that. I was under a lot of stress. I was having problems in my just to be honest, like my relationship was not good at that time, and it wasn't like fighting. We have a great relationship, so even our bad times are like very mature. But it was a stressful time, and we had like a bit of a separation back then. So anyway, I was not like treating my body very well, and I went to like the doctor for some reason and got like an exam, and I went to like a gynecologist for some reason, just like kind of regular, not a big deal. And I found out that I had like precancerous cells and like all this stuff. And it was just like, oh, like, what are you talking about? Like I've never had a problem. Like, what's going on? So in that process, I was like faced with this, like, okay, like you have precancerous cells, like you have to have this surgery, all this stuff. I won't get into like the goriness of it and like the back and forth and like all that, how I found resolution. If you ever wanted to talk about that, or if you wanted me to make a video about like that story, I would be happy to. But it's not, we're here for Reiki Share. I'm not trying to like run away with like my story here. But what I'm trying to get at, and what this is making me think of here, is I reached out to my teacher. I sent her an email, and just let her know, I was like, hey, like, I don't even know, like, I feel guilty, like, reaching out to you, but I need, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've been faced with like a health scare. Gave her like a tiny piece of the information. I was just like, I feel scared. And she was like, yeah, like, feel scared, like, feel the fear, like, let yourself feel it. And her words changed, like, gave me such a tremendous shift. And she was like, if you have time right now, go lay down, go sit down, let yourself feel it. I'm going to send you some Reiki and like that. Yes, like, go do that. So I did it. I like let myself feel fear because, all this stuff in my head. I was like, oh my God, like, what if I have to have a hysterectomy? What if this, I did this, it didn't work, now I have to do something else? Oh, like, what if I've been so bad to my body? Oh, like, what if this progresses and like, Howell doesn't have a mom? Like, all this stuff, right? All this, like, I'm calling it fear, that's general, but like all this fear, all these fear-based things, right? So I let myself, hey fairy bear, thank you for joining us for your first time. So I let myself feel it. Like, I cried like crazy because up until that point, I was like kind of rejecting it. It was like, I was like, oh yeah, I have to face this, but also, oh, I don't want to feel it. Like, oh, I don't want to let it win. Oh, I don't want anything to, like, I don't want to let it in and like it's my reality now, like that kind of thing. But you know what? Like, when we're not facing it, we're not acknowledging and validating that our body is talking to us or that the universe in some way is talking to us. We're not going to be able to progress and get the lesson out of it. We're going to be in this like limbo kind of space. So, like, when you let that shit hit you and you feel it, particularly that these fell out together. And the first thing I said was like, well, it did feel a little romantic, but that this is someone of support with like emotional maturity, someone with healing powers, almost we could say as well. Like, water is very feminine and mystic and of the healing nature or healer realm, right? So if there's someone that you're looking to, like, if you have someone in your life right now that you're, how do I say it? Like, there are people to support you. Like, there are people to hold space for you as you let this stuff hit you. So maybe that will play in a little bit today in our Reiki share. Those cards just fell out onto the table or out. So let me set an intention now and pull some cards a little more deliberately, I guess. Hey, Shelly. All right. So let's get a little clarity then, maybe for the King of Cups, right? And I should say too, like, after that period, like literally that experience of like letting myself really cry, letting it hit me, letting me think about it, let me think of like how no, like I don't want that, but it is scary and it is my reality right now, something I have to face. When I was done, I felt a trillion times better. And I was like, all right, like I did the fear stuff. Like, now let's go on to the healing stuff. Now let's go on to more of like the recovery stuff and the more manifestive, deliberate. And then went on. And I'm good now. And it was funny too, like at that period, it was actually when my brother was diagnosed with cancer, and my brother had testicular cancer. So I was having like cervical cancer issues and he was having testicular. It was just really weird, like at the same time. Okay. I want to first get a little clarity, like I said, for the King of Cups, because I don't think we need a lot of clarity for the Ten of Swords here. Right, so we have the the Five of Swords in reverse. Just look at this a little. No matter how overwhelmed we feel, there's always someone who's looking up to us, or who's thinking about us as like, yeah, but you're like the strongest person ever. So I don't know if you can see. This was reversed, but just to show you the picture, we have like this guy kind of like, ooh, like he lost the battle. Maybe this one in some way lost too, or like the way, I don't know, there's like defeat almost on both realms, even though like this guy's not celebrating this person. This one's obviously down. This one's, either way, like you can sometimes, it's like lose-lose, right? Like in a way sometimes, or that's what it feels like. You have those periods, we all do. But there's always someone who's like looking up to us. There's always someone who thinks that we're the best, or who thinks that, like, yeah, you're having a rough time, but like so what? Like, you're the best person ever. So I don't know, maybe your kids or those who are younger to you, if you teach, the people who are in your school, like, people are modeling themselves after us. And it's not in this like copycat way, and it's not in this where it's our responsibility necessarily, but it can make us feel better to tap into our strengths and our power and our calmness and our whatever this king of emotions and mystic arts and love and fulfillment. I'm sorry that I'm not super clear. I'm not being super clear, but there's always people looking up to you who will hold space for you. I'm going to pull another one. Okay, so let's just keep those onto the side here, and we'll see what else comes up. I'm just going to pull 3 now, more of like a what's going on, what can help. Hello. Okay, good card. A lot better than that 10 of Swords. It is such weird weather in Florida. Like, obviously it's hot in Florida all the time, but it goes from being like kind of cool to like really hot and muggy, like right now. So if I look like I'm sweating, I probably am. I am. Okay, I'm going to just pull 2 more. Okay, so that first jumper that we had was the 9 of Cups. Very fulfilling. Having anything you need, having more than enough, having ones you could sell, ones you could trade, stuff you could share with people if you wanted to, like real abundance and a pride in your ability to get here, to get to this place. It's beautiful. Then we have the Knight of Wands. I'm just not in the mood to read them in reverse, so I'm just not going to read them in reverse. But Knight of Wands, eager, excited. I'm just looking at those pyramids too, because it makes me think of creating something in a divine architecture, like going to visit, like literally going to visit pyramids, or going off on a quest of some kind to understand things that are ancient or are very earth-based, very earth and star-based. I don't know if anybody's taking any trips to like any temples or any of the chakras of the earth or whatever. And then we have the 7 of Wands. So I'm just going to look at these all together because they seem very random right now, but let me look at them all together like a story. It's kind of a battle. It's kind of like really trying to maintain what you want to create when all these other things are coming up. Like all these other, like if you're looking at your year, let's say like we're looking at 2020 and you have like a couple of ideas in your head, or you're like, no, this is the thing I want to start. This is the project I want to start, or this is what I want to invest my time in, or this is what I want to invest anything. Like this is the thing that I want to like lead with. It's almost like these other project. I can't think of a better word, but like projects or other things are coming up along the path, and you almost have to like beat them out of the way or like clear them. Like, no, like it's not time for you yet, you know? Okay, so let's go back. The jumpers we had at first was the overwhelm, the mental overwhelm, which I think that a lot of us can connect with. And that, my suggestion is to surrender. Sorry to be repetitive, but to surrender to them, let them hit you, let yourself feel it, because that creates the opportunity for it to clear out. Either you are a lot more powerful than you know, which I think is a lot of, the case for a lot of people, or you have someone in your field. It might be a water sign. It might be a Pisces or a Cancer or even a Scorpio who is supportive, like is holding space for you, is is there for you to ask, like my teacher, like my teacher who I said sent me Reiki and told me to feel my fear, and I felt so much better. And there's also people looking up to you who really think you have great ideas, even when you're having like this like mental chaos or this like mental overwhelm. There's someone out there in your life who really thinks the world of you, and wants to help and wants to do things and wants to carry the weight a little of that mental stuff. You have helpers. There are helpers, I guess, is what's coming up. Okay. And then here, what's funny? When these come together, when cards like this come together, you really get a taste of the duality of experiences, right? Maybe the fear that you are feeling, or the overwhelm, or like, the depression, excuse me. Maybe it's also in tandem with you, the fact that like you are aware that this like leads to, or is tied to rather, your fulfillment, or you've completed some kind of cycle, this fulfilling cycle, and now it's time to move on or redevelop. So it's like you have, but also like there's stress, you're seeing the potential of something, but also like the weight of everything that it took. I don't know, right? But this is a great card, like just having access, having so much that you can give to other people. And it's not like material, it's fulfillment. It's like love and joy and creativity and compassion. And then we have this excitement, this journey, like Sagittarius kind of vibes, going somewhere. I feel like there's travel for some of you. Is anybody traveling or planning to travel next year? Hey, Andre, how you feeling? Hello. Going somewhere, like connecting with the land, it feels like. And I know that's not a typical reading necessarily for this card, but I don't know. It feels like some of you are like going somewhere or planning to go somewhere or building something in your backyard. I almost want to say a shrine, but like a sacred space for yourself where that like you could peek up between the trees and like see the moon on certain nights, or create something special. Oh, how funny. Okay, good. Okay, good. And whether that's for this trip or whether it's just in life, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. I feel like there's also like a FOMO here as well, like maybe even like a fear of missing out you're going to have to deal with, or that we're all going to have to deal with because we want to do it all at once. But it's also like, no, I have to be wise here and like know that this space that I'm in, this earth realm, does have limitations. It does have time. It does have different things that I have to make sure like I'm doing things methodically. So it kind of is just a support to connect with the methodical nature of things and not worry about FOMO. Like it's okay, like you're going to get a chance to do whatever you want. But also like don't like push things away either, like I don't mean to like throw myself into the mix too much here, but essentially like there have been I've seen some comments on my Instagram, excuse me, people who wanted to come to like the class that I'm teaching in February, and they're in Florida, and they were like, oh, I really want to come, but I can't because this is 3 hours away from where I live. And like I get that, like it's not totally local, like I totally get it, but it's but it's also like, well, if you really want to come, don't let that be the thing that stops you. You just say then, I really want to come. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to be open to the ways that the universe shows me on how I could get there that day. Like something like that. That doesn't mean you have to rush out and buy a ticket. It just means you're open to some development happening along the way. And I think that's really really helpful for all of us to think of when we're trying to manifest, or when we're thinking of a trip we want to take or whatever it is. It's really easy to be like, oh, I'd love to, but I can't do that. Or, oh yeah, I'd love to, but I can't do that. And it's like, that's okay. Like you're allowed to say that. Don't get me wrong, of course. But it can also just be like, oh, like I can't connect the dots right now, but I'm just going to be open to, because in my soul I feel like I want to do that. I want to go see the pyramids, or I want to go to Mexico, or I want to, like, wherever it is necessarily that like you feel called to, you know? All right. So I hope that some of that helps. It was very unclear for me, so I do apologize. My brain is not like super clear. I feel like I apologize for that all the time. So let me take back my apology and just say I hope that whatever whatever was in there that was meant to come out will be. I've got this cute little cranberry pine Trader Joe's candle. I don't know if you guys have Trader Joe's by you, but they have these little like stocking stuffer candles that are so cute. So of course I bought 3 packs of them. I'm just gonna light this right now. Set an intention for our little Reiki share today. Super pretty. I love these too because like the flame is kind of big. It'll get smaller, but the flame starts out kind of big and it just looks like this little cup of fire. I don't know. It's really cute. All right. I'm just uncrossing my legs, putting my feet on the floor, placing a hand near my heart, and setting an intention, right? So on behalf of my and your and everyone else's highest and greatest good and perfect comfort and alignment, we're here today to connect, to deliberately send this like energy in to the collective here. We're going to set intentions for everyone in our group who wants to participate, whether they're here today or not, to focus on their physical health, on their mental, emotional, spiritual health, of course. I really feel this strong healing crisis coming up for a lot of us in different ways. So, for some of you, I know that's physical. I want to send love to those of you who are experiencing a lot of physical, like either discomfort or things that you're experiencing. We just want to hold space for the group there, emotional things, mental things. Spiritual development, the spiritual tie to healing crisis as well, you know, because that's like a different form of healing crisis. I'm just using the word healing crisis. It's like very general, you know, like mental health, physical health, a lot of things coming to the surface, kind of like what I shared about with like my health scare when my brother had cancer. You know, it's like these things are coming up to get our attention, to make sure that we are listening, or that we're dealing with stuff, we're clearing stuff out, we're healing, we're learning, we're experiencing as well things that will increase our capacity for compassion and empathy and authenticity in our walking kind of through some proverbial fire to collect the way, like the map or whatever, right? And then from there, once we reach the other side, we have the map to share with others on what worked for us, you know? Aw, thanks, Kelly. All right. And if you want to set your own intention, please just, you know, if you're able to. Looks so pretty. This little lens flare we got going on. But if you'd like to set your own intention, please do. We want to consider, of course, the loved ones of our group, our little group here. Include them if their higher self accepts, you know, we're never pushy in any way. All right. And I'm just going to put this down on this cute little slab of petrified wood that I have over here. All right. And then I'm just going to grab incense. It's right here. Sorry about that. I thought I had one over here. This little guy. I'm just kind of making it into a shape. And I'm just gonna light some incense, kind of as an offering of an exchange to get like the energy flowing. I'm cautious with these because they're kind of flimsy. You could hurt yourself. There we go. And this cute little I love this little guy. It's so cute. Angela Mary Magic gave me this. Right, so we've got our smoke going. Little offering for all of us. Okay. All right, I have to grab something else. I'm so sorry. Back. I've got this really nice spray. It's from, I'm not going to pronounce it right. I keep messing it up, but I'll pronounce it wrong for you. Deschampsia? Like Shampsia? Deschampsia? Goodness. It is a new moon in Cancer eclipse spray. It's really nice. Just going to get a little water element coming in. And I want a very physical healing stone. I'm going to go with this clear quartz. Doop. Okay. So I just want to give a description to anybody here who's joining us for the first time. Sorry, this light is like crazy. Should I turn it off? Is that better? That might be better. Anyway, if you haven't been here before, this is a space where we're going to do some channeling in. If you've never done channeling before, it's very easy. I'm sure you have done channeling before. It's just like a prayer or a sending someone, like when you're like, oh, I'm going to send you some energy. I'm going to send you my best wishes. Or I wish, like, I'll totally share, of course, that like, yes, like it's not always like I'm sending prayers. Like I feel like that kind of gets a bad rap when it's like, oh, I'm sending prayers and people are like, oh, well, it takes more than prayers. Like, of course it does. But what we're doing right now is a form of energy work that is collective in nature, and it's similar to prayer, similar to prayer circles or, that kind of thing. So all you have to do to channel is first like a little mini lesson, like you are human. You're human in this life experience and you're finite, like your energy in your body, like in you, is finite, as in you can become depleted, like yes, you can become recharged. That's typically the case, right? But you can become depleted from your own energy, or like give too much, like the whole pouring from an empty cup kind of thing, or like only giving your own energy. And one of the things that we learn in Reiki is to tap in to the channel, the unlimited source of energy that we have ever present, versus pouring from our own finite cup. I hope that you can see the difference. It's basically like I have my amount, but all around me and what I'm connected to is infinite. So it is my choice, my will to choose to channel tapped into the unlimited, never-ending stream of universal energy versus sending it from like me and like draining my energy. I hope that makes sense. The only thing you have to do basically is say like, I'm choosing to tap into infinite energy versus using my own energy. Like that's as simple as this. I like the train track analogy. It's like, okay, now I'm trapped in because I said that, because that is my will, so it's pretty simple. So we never really plan how these go. It's not like there's a script necessarily or anything like that. But we've seen the past couple times, like as we're focusing, as we're connecting, that there's been this kind of like pot, like pot or cauldron. There was a pool before, and I feel very called to that. I really love it. So if you are open to it, I'd like to be a little more choosing what we're going to envision today. So I really love the idea of the water and like the pots or whatever. So I was thinking we could work with either a tide pool or something similar. I'll say tide pool. I think that sounds really beautiful and I could picture it. And that way we can kind of all focus on it perhaps. like before we even see like what the heck this is. And you'll understand more like as we go. And for those of you who have been here for a while, like I know you already get it. Okay. So just take a few breaths, and we're first going to focus on balancing ourselves, on coming into alignment for ourselves. And then we're going to work on channeling for the collective. And then we're going to take from that as well, because we're giving and receiving. Okay. That's important in energy work in general. All right. So I'm going to use a method that I use all the time, and guide you through it. You maybe have heard this before. Yes. Oh my gosh, you're right, Jen. This is our last one of these for 2019. Holy crap. Amazing. So cool. All right. So if you're open to it, if you're able, just place your hands on your heart. Maybe close your eyes if it feels right to you. You don't have to. I'm probably going to close my eyes, so excuse me if I look a little weird. But just place your hands on your heart. Also, let's first as well identify our dominant side and our receptive side. So I'm a right-handed individual. My dominant hand is my right hand. If you are left-handed, then your dominant hand is your left hand. We could say there's some contradiction there, and some people say it's always the right. But I like to honor, everyone's own dominant nature or whatever, like their own personal currents. So when I say dominant, if you're a lefty, that's your left hand. Righty, that's your right hand. Okay, just to make sure. Just center yourself. Make sure you're not all twisted up. Your legs aren't twisted. You're not like all wrapped up. We want the meridians to be clear, have opportunity for flow. So we're first going to put our hands on our chest, or just visualize your heart space. Like that's okay, whatever feels right to you. All right. And we're going to connect first. We're going to set an intention to connect with our heart, with our soul connection, with this space that communicates to us our desires, our path in some way, like leading us. For those of you who want to take those trips, calling, I really want to go there, that kind of thing. And we just want to focus on the rapport and honoring the rapport and visualizing or connecting through feeling or any other form of subtle senses that feels right to you. You might get a little like goosebumpy, like yummy feeling like that. But whatever it is, you're connecting now to this infinite source, this infinite space. It's almost like falling into the matrix or something. It's the space of connecting to your higher soul, your past lives, your inner child, your future, the manifestations of your life, your ability to love and move in a place of non-judgment, compassion, and a loving detachment, we could say. And we just want to connect here. I'm seeing like an eye with eyelashes, like right away, it's almost like I'm seeing the lash line like above, which is funny, like makeup, or I don't know, it makes me think of makeup or like tattoos, like eyeliner tattoos or something. All right. So here, as you're focused, you're just really focusing on the energy of this infinite space that it's almost like, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Scott Pilgrim, with what's his face? But there's like this really great movie, like really fun and playful movie, but he like reaches into his heart and like pulls out a sword, like it's kind of like that. Like in this space is everything and anything that you could need. There's guidance, there's like inspiration, there's just so much here. All right. And while you're still leaving your receptive hand, so for me, that's my left hand on my heart, take your dominant hand and begin to move it to your throat area and focus on channeling through. So receiving into your receptive hand, and it's coming up your arm, across your chest, down your dominant hand, out of your dominant hand, like a teapot, into communicate or channel this bridge, channel this message connection into your throat area. You might be able to visualize that energy moving. You might feel it. You might just feel very relaxed. But our focus here is now to bridge the rapport to our lower mind, our conscious mind. So we want to say and think or intend that I am thinking and moving and speaking and expressing myself in ways that support what my heart is asking for. It is my intention to comprehend what my heart is asking for and to think in ways that support my ability of aligning with that, and to express in ways that support my alignment with that. And just hold them here. It might feel really good, so stay as long as you want, even though we're going to keep moving. But then we're going to move our dominant hand down to the solar plexus area. So just to give you an example, that's like right under the ribs in the front. Again, channeling this heart connection through into the solar plexus. And set your intention to move and act and authentically resonate with that which your heart is asking for, that which your heart desires in this experience. You will take steps, you will be guided, you will know when to act and when to rest. We will easily see ourselves as the individuals that we're creating ourselves to be. We will step into those fields. So maybe that's for some, that's a world traveler. And it's not like, oh, I can never do that on my own. It's like, no, I can do anything. Or an artist. Oh, I don't know. It's hard to be an artist. You never make any money. Oh, no, scratch that. I am an artist. I create like an artist. I move and act and do that which artists do, that kind of thing. And it doesn't have to be specific. You don't have to know. You don't have to classify. You just have to align with moving and acting and being, existing in ways that support what your heart is asking for, what your soul is asking for in this experience. All right. Then we're going to move our dominant hand up to the brow area, the third eye area. Channeling, of course, through the heart into the space like jumper cables. And our intentions here are to see ourselves doing it, to be guided intuitively, to be able to visualize or in other ways connect with the feeling of being in alignment with what our heart is asking for. I see myself easily fulfilling what my heart goals are. I see myself making an impact on other people's lives in beneficial ways simply because I live by my heart, or I'm guided by my heart or my soul's desires. All right. And for those of you who are not terribly visual, it's okay. You don't have to actually see it, but you'll see it in other ways. Like you'll hear it, or you'll feel it, or you'll have some other way that inspiration reaches you. So don't be too pressured on yourself if you're not a hyper visual person as of yet. You can develop that if you want most of the time. All right. And just allow this flow from the heart into the third eye to connect these spaces. All right, and then we're going to move our dominant hand down to the lower belly, under the belly button, basically, the sacral area. And we're going to focus here on the fact that we can create ourselves in any way. We create our lives, we create our reality. And we want to bridge these points, this heart and the sacral, so that, first of all, the sacral, the creation center, is getting the messages of what we're creating, if that makes sense. But also, our intention is to allow the emotional center of the sacral, the emotional intelligence of the sacral, to easily guide us, to navigate us on our path here to our soul's desires, and to make sure that we're just aware. So if we're feeling bad for a while, and I'm not talking about like the things that come up or the cycles. Cycles are different, but if we're feeling bad for a while, it might be a way that our emotional center, let's say, is telling us that we're not on track. Something's off. And it means that we have to figure that out, you know? But simply that awareness can be so helpful. All right. Then I'm going to move my hand up to the crown area and focus on bridging the heart to the crown. Focus on the intention of trust in the fact that behind the scenes, things are happening, things are folding, flight tickets are going on sale. I don't know. Galleries are opening, things are happening, people are being born, people are becoming interested in certain topics. There's change, there's movement, there's flow, and things are folding in ways that support what your heart is asking for. On a more spiritual level, we can put a trust in the fact that we know we're communicating with what lies beyond and that we're drawing from this space. We're energized by it. We're guided on a kind of mental, intuitive, yet like more mentally intuitive level. This one feels really good. I don't know about you. This one feels really good, so it's hard for me to take it away. I'm going to go down now to the root, so the very tip of your torso at the bottom. And now focus on the intention of knowing that on this realm, in this earth experience, on this path that we are walking, there is every resource, there is every opportunity, there is everything that we could ever need to fulfill or to be fulfilled through living by our hearts. And I know that sounds very woo woo, like live by your heart, but I really mean like living by your passions, living by these little nudges, these pulls to guide us on our paths most authentically and in most alignment with what our soul is like wants to experience here in this lifetime. Again, this is body. My body is strong. My body will carry me on this path. I trust that even if I am in any physical discord at this moment, that there are herbs, there are practices, there are medicines, there are all kinds of things to support my physical development, my healing. If it's more resource based in terms of monetary issues, just know that there are so many ways for things to come about. It doesn't have to be, oh, I need exactly this much money. It can be a job opportunity that takes you somewhere. It can be it can be a gift. It can be anything at all. So let's be open here, particularly through this heart root connection, being open to that support reaching us. I just feel guided to share this message. So it's kind of connected, but also a little off. So forgive me. But for some of you, might be holding back in some way, holding back from actually touching down and doing what you want to do, if that makes sense. Like, oh, well, when I get the space, or oh, when I get this, or when I get that, yeah, then I'm going to have time, or yeah, well, I'll make time, it'll be easier. And don't get me wrong, it's the end of the year. We have a lot of stuff going on, you know, so like I understand. I have things that I'm like, okay, that's a 2020 thing, that's it. But overall, you know, if there's this delay of, oh, I'll do it one day, or oh, I'll do it when things get easier, and you feel like you know that that's I don't want to say a cop out, forgive me for saying that, but something like that. Just know that the universe replies a lot faster. It starts to clear the path a lot faster when our body is actually in some kind of motion to do what it is we're trying to do. So if I have this goal for this writing project, the universe is going to be a lot more supportive of me if I'm actually doing the writing and doing the research and looking up different things. Like it's going to start to align a lot faster. Or if someone has a desire to take a trip, cool. Like I don't mean go out and buy all the sandals in the world or all the whatever, but maybe start mapping it out. Maybe start doing research on where you might stay or get some ideas. And I don't mean in an obsessive, tight, like uh, tunnel vision way, but just in general, doing a little of the work. All right. If you want to change your career, if you want to be, I've said this before, but like if you want to be a chef, but right now, like you can't really go to school and you uh, like can't afford a lot of food, like go play in the kitchen to the best of your ability, make up some like cheap ass recipes. Like don't let your whatever's holding you, like holding you back, don't let that be the thing that holds you back. Work around it. And as you're doing that, as you're actually doing, you're going to see how things open up so much more easily. All right. All right. So just hope you feel better. I'd love to check in with you. I'm sorry for not being able to like read the comments and talk at the same time. I get like, ooh, that was super loud. Sorry. My ring hit the table. But I get like too brained at this. So let me just check in. Hey, Michelle. I'm laughing at you guys too, or with you guys too. Aw, so good. Okay, great. I hope that you feel a little more in alignment. This usually works really good for me. That little moment of like grabbing that space, like that heart energy, and moving it to become aligned. I feel so much better when I do that. But I do want to focus on one more space here. It's very similar. So we want to just bring our hands into a kind of prayer position and bring them into our heart. And just as similarly as we were kind of drawing in to the receptive and channeling through, at this point, while we're here, we want to create a loop, a circuit through our hands, through our heart. So it's like zoom, zoom through the heart. Imagine you're receiving from, wait, I'm backwards now. This is my receptive hand. I'm receiving through this hand. I'm sending through this hand like this. So I'm receiving through myself, through like self-care, through my own energy. And as this comes in, it passes through this point in my chest, in my heart, that is like hyper charged, pure light, pure love, infinite energy, direct God, like in your chest, whatever feels good to you, whatever words feel best, but like this incredible engine almost, or like battery, or just source, like pure source. So as it pulls through and crosses your chest, it gets like brighter, it gets more energized, and then it comes out your dominant hand into your left, back in again. So it's like this circuit of building energy, and it's really helpful to do this because you can, what we're going to do, well, let's just get into it. So if you're open to it, if you want to participate here, just place your hands together in prayer by your heart and start by visualizing or feeling or commanding your energy to move through your dominant hand into your receptive hand, up your arm, through your chest, and be completely incredibly energized through this purity in your heart space. And then it comes back out your dominant arm, out your dominant hand, into your receptive hand, and so on, charging. So we're just going to sit here for a moment, focused on this flow within us, building our energy, empowering ourselves, letting source or this unlimited energy flow through us so easily, and building and cleansing and building like a filter. And we want to set intentions for easily being able to share. We easily share. And that usually is pretty easy for most of us. We easily share. But also as important, we easily receive. I am open to receiving, and I am open to giving or sending out in comfort and alignment. I receive everything I need on my journey, on my path, and I send out or release anything that needs to be. You might feel different areas, perhaps in your shoulders or your arms while you're doing this, that feel a little slower. And if that's true to you, then just keep that revving going. Set intentions for allowing things to move freely, to flow freely. Why is that so hard for me to say? To release any blockages, to release any tension, to release any imposed obligations or imposed beliefs or anything that would hold us back or make us feel like we have to carry something that we don't have to carry, that doesn't belong to us, that kind of thing. All right, so whenever you feel good, we'll move on to the sending part. All right, so I'm just gonna keep my eyes closed because it's a little easier for me. But when I talk about proxy in my sessions, what a proxy is something physical to focus on, to direct energy towards on behalf of something else. So when I'm making my videos, the camera lens is the eyes, the microphone is the ears, and so on. The body of the tripod and whatever is like the body of the figure. But when we're working with the collective, it can be helpful to have anything in your hand. Like I usually end up choosing something like a sphere. I really have loved the spheres in other. I'm so sorry, it's so noisy. Sessions that we've done. Today, I'm choosing this clear quartz point. All right, so it's almost like you might feel comfortable, you might feel more comfortable holding something in your hands, essentially, or creating like a orby kind of like space in your hands where you're focusing on channeling into to create, and then we're going to send it into the tide pool if that works for you. If you've ever seen a tide pool before, like even in pictures, they're so beautiful. And tranquil, So I thought that would be nice, even though it's winter and cold for most of you, I'm sure. All right. So if you have something you'd like to work with, like a gem, or if you want to use your hands, whatever feels good to you, you could have a candle going that you just kind of send towards the candle, whatever feels good, But I'm just going to hold this in my hands. All right, so first we want to create our offering. And the intention here should be pure. Very often, people will ask, well, I'm not perfect. Like, how could I do energy work for someone else? What if I give them like, if I'm telling you I'm a little depressed right now, like maybe people are like, I don't want your gross depression, like that kind of thing. And it's totally okay. When you're channeling, the focus is to be a conduit. That's why we're tapping into this unlimited source. We're a conduit. It's not my energy. It's not my vibe. It's nothing like that. It is not my depression. It is tapping in and serving as a conduit for energy to flow through that we can direct. What is the only important thing of purity here is that your intention is pure, your motive is pure. If that is the case, then then you're fine, like you're fine. That's much more important. So I'm just going to set an intention for myself, and you might set your own intention or use this one, but it's my intention to channel energy from an unlimited stream, an unlimited source of pure love, support, healing, empowerment, anything at all that any of the individuals in our group need, those who are here, those who are not, those who participate through their own free will, those who higher self accepts, that kind of thing. I want to create it. I'm going to build it first in my hands. All right. So maybe it would be a good idea to close your eyes and see yourself sitting on a beach. Behind you, Maybe you hear the sounds of palm trees or just the gentle rustling of perhaps more of a jungle. The sand beneath you is soft and fine and white. There are beautiful shells along the shore. And by your side on this beach are other members of our group sitting together with their eyes closed, holding their hands close to one another, close to their own hands, and creating energy sources or energy orbs, we could say. You might look out over the ocean and see the different colors, a bit more tropical, turquoise. And as we go, the further away we look to the horizon, the waters become a bit more true blue or darker. Maybe you see a pelican flying along the top of the water, the clouds in the sky, the smell of salt water, the gentle sound of the ocean waves. All right, and maybe the sun shining down on you a little bit behind those clouds. Breathing in this prana rich energy. You set an intention to channel through unlimited energy and create in your hand an orb or a shape, a crystal, a diamond, an offering of some kind that we will deliver to the water later. So just connect with that unlimited channel. Feel it first filling you totally up. You become very energized, very aligned, very comfortable. Perhaps your hands begin to buzz a little or tingle or feel warm. And whatever you hold in your hand, or if you just are creating a sphere with your own hands and fingers yourself, just channel it in. Maybe it looks like a snow globe or something like that. Maybe it's something you're kind of pouring into a shell that you've picked up along the beach. Whatever is right for you. But we'll just have a little quiet now as we channel and create this pure intention energy offering. I'm seeing a lot of lilacs and purples, seeing a kind of triangular shape. All right. And take all the time you need here. Don't feel rushed at all. But when you feel like whatever you've created in your hands feels ready to you, and again, no rush, but we're just going to stand and walk to the coastline. Off to the left a little, there's a bit of a jetty looking thing, this little rock formation. And there we find this gorgeous tide pool with crystal clear water, although it does look a bit turquoise as well. We can see right through it. It's nice and big, like a huge jacuzzi. And when you feel ready, you can approach this tide pool and gently offer whatever you've created. So for me, that will be this crystal, and place it in the water. Maybe you can throw it in like a stone, or Just send this kind of bubbly sphere that you've created, and it just floats over to the water surface. But as we begin to add our offerings, you might notice the water changing colors. So just pay attention if you're able to visualize, what do you see? I'm seeing a lot of like pinky purples and blues, some yellow now, some golds. And just adding this in. So I'm going to place my stone here on the desk and just kind of open my hands and focus on channeling still into this tide pool. Right. And when you feel ready as well, don't forget that we're here also to receive. So we've created this beautiful, lush-ish, I don't know if lush is the right word, but this beautiful bath, essentially, healing bath. And to do whatever you feel comfortable with. Maybe you just want to kind of dip your hands in the water and set an intention to receive. Maybe you want to walk into it. Maybe go up to your knees or up to your hips and place your fingertips in the water and just allow yourself to receive. Some of you might want to run in. Some of you might want to float in that water. It's plenty big, more perhaps like a combination of a lagoon and a tide pool. But whatever you do to engage with this water, just make sure you are receiving what you need, whether that is clarity, support, just the feeling of feeling supported, some kind of understanding, some kind of lesson, some kind of empowerment, encouragement, inspiration, strength, flexibility, the release of inflammation, the release of pain and tension, as if so much good is coming in through your pores, through your subtle energy fields, that all the quote unquote negative just easily releases or easily relaxes out and just flows outward out of your system through your breath, perhaps. Maybe you see yourself lying, floating on top of the salty water. And with every breath you take, you pull in more of this abundant energy. And as you breathe out, you release what needs to come out. Any toxin, any discord, any insecurities, any doubt, self-doubt. Right. And whenever you're ready as well, you can go back to the beach, hang out, kick it. Give each other hugs, high fives, little nods, smirks, whatever your style is. All right. All right. How is everybody doing? How is everyone? I don't want to rush you out of it. I think that's the hardest part, right? I don't want to be the dictator. I'm going to drink a little coffee while I wait for you. Jen said bonfire time. I love it. That's a great idea. Oh, that's great. That's great, Bill. I always feel so much better after we do these. Like, truly, I feel so much better. Even though, I know it's nothing. I know I'm over here. I, barely woke up and, I'm all crazy looking. But I just feel so good. I love you guys so much. Oh, it's great, Charlotte. I love the grounded feeling. Oh my, Jen, that is so funny because I literally had a lepidolite right here and I almost grabbed it and I was like, oh, I should use that. And I was like, it's kind of flat. I want like a shape, you know? So it's so funny. Yeah, I love like the variations of what people wanna do. Like, do you wanna just jump in the water? I don't know if anyone has a fear, right? I don't wanna force anybody. Ah, wonderful. So for those of the people who are watching later, for those of the individuals who are tuning in later, I please feel free to leave comments here or in the Patreon post, for anything you want to share. Just so nice. Shelly says, floated on the water. Yeah, maybe we should have a bonfire for January. Maybe that's what we'll do. I think we've done that before too, right? Where it was like smoky and stuff where we saw. I don't know, it's hard for me to decide. Sometimes I just want it to go, like, what's gonna come up, Like, what's gonna come up? But I really love that we can put something in and then receive. Like, I think that's, like, super helpful. So maybe I'll try to make them a little more planned without being too planned. Because if I try to plan anything too much, it's just not a great idea for me. The rebel inside me is like, "Why did you make that plan? I wanna break the rule now." Aw, so good. Just reading your comments. Yeah, for anybody who has the ability, the luxury today to just go to bed, like go lay down, or I don't know. I almost said like go out and sit in your hammock. I guess that's for the southern hemisphere people, maybe. But just relax, go have your tea. And excuse me, energy work doesn't just end, it's like so often when people just sign up for Reiki, like the day they sign up for Reiki, even if the appointment or the class is months from then, they start to feel it like already. It's such a strange phenomenon. I'm sure many of you who practice, Jen, I know Bill, I'm sure like you can agree with that. Aw, thanks. But it's like, as soon as you, like, agree to it, or as soon as you commit to it, it's already, like, happening. It's so weird, right? So just remember, of course, that, like, just because I kicked you out of the water brought you back to reality, you can go and sit and just be in that lagoon or that tide pool, have a meditative experience, go back to receiving, send more in, do whatever you want, like it doesn't end. You can keep playing with it. I'm offering not one-to-one Reiki 2 in 2020, but I am offering remote classes. It's actually something that I wanted to talk to you guys about because I use I'm gonna actually I have a plan. I have like a things I want to talk about to Patreon video that I'm creating this weekend for just like a hey, it's the end of the year and I want to tell you a lot of like what my plans are. Like I want, I'll tell you a little bit now. Like, I want to set up a studio in my house. I want to get some new equipment, like specifically, I think a 3D. Oh God, I'm so sorry. 3DO microphone would be. If you don't know what a 3DO microphone is, I'm sure that anybody who watches a lot of ASMR knows what that is. But it's basically a microphone that kind of looks like this, and on the end are ears. It's kind of gimmicky, I never really I was like, I don't know if I want an ear microphone." But now that I am doing the long form sessions and the point of view, it's like, "Oh my god, the 3DO thing would be great because it'd be like these ears on the table that I could focus on." I think that'd be so cool. And just the like the studio setup and stuff like that. But I want to I'm creating, they're already on my website, like creating remote classes, but I want to test out my equipment and I want to test out how the program works. So I was going to make an offering, not like a sales thing, like just like, hey, anybody who wants to join, please, join live stream in Zoom, which in this case, other people who have cameras, like, on your laptop or a webcam or whatever, we can, like, see each other, like, we can, like, talk to each other and stuff, and I was like, "Oh my god, that'd be so cool." So, I wanna play and make sure that it works, of course, and maybe it would be something we could use for Patreon, maybe if other people wanted to engage and, like, see each other more. I don't wanna push people to that, of course, but, I thought maybe that would be a fun thing for people to do. Oh, okay. Bye, Jen. Have fun with your mom. Oh, I think I missed some, Kelly, I think I missed your question. I love this part, the heart chakra. I see a question, but I don't know if it was for other people or for me. Yeah, right? It'll be good. Like, litter box duty. Oh, it cracks me up. Yeah, so my classes for 2020 are going to be more classes, so it'll have other people in them. That's the plan right now. I have a Reiki 2 scheduled for, I wanna say April? I wanna say April. There's a Reiki 2 class that's up right now. Yeah, Zoom chat would be cool, right? I think it'll okay, good. I'm glad. And I'll explain this more in, like, an actual video when, like, I've, like, finished my coffee and brushed my hair. That kind of stuff, but I do have a lot of things that I wanted to share and let you know that I am, planning, like, other stuff to, like, make these hopefully even better or, like, better for everyone, but we'll see. I just love the idea that there would be an opportunity perhaps to, like, see each other, but I also don't wanna push people to that. But also on Zoom, if we were in Zoom, it doesn't have to be where you share your camera. You can just do just audio and not share your camera. So if you wanted to talk, you can still talk and people can hear your voice, but it doesn't have to be like where you're, because it can be a lot of pressure sometimes, like for some people. Awesome. Have a great day, Jen. All right. Oh, take care of your grandma, Sarah. Hope you have a great day. All right. Wow. Everyone has been so wonderful. Thank you so much for joining. Oh my gosh. Like, thank you for the energy bath. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything this whole freaking year. Like, I want to cry. I have never felt like so supported in my whole life. And it's just so weird and funny of how, I don't know, like how things work out. You know what I mean? Like reflecting, like that depression video that I made took a lot because there's so many other, it felt like I was dragging on. There was so much I wanted to share, but every topic that I shared also had like so much. I was like, try to stay focused. But as I was doing that and thinking about like my childhood or like having myself go back to feeling so isolated and so alone, and today we're on like this Reiki share, like talking to each other and like the support in the community and just all the stuff. I'm just like, wow, like it's just it's just amazing. Like you could cry over it. Like it's so beautiful. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope you get a little good a little good like boost or whatever you need and take what you need, of course. And just sending you guys all this love. And I'm sorry I'm tongue tied now. I'm just like cozy, I guess. All right. So much love to you. Be sure that video was hard to share. Oh, I'm so glad that you felt less alone by it, Caroline. Yeah, it's hard to share, I guess because I don't want people to. I don't want people to feel bad for me, but more than that, I don't want people to think that I'm like that I'm. It's a stigma, right? But like not able to do my work, or like, oh, like we have to pity her now, like that kind of thing. It's never about that for me, like it's more about bringing just awareness to the fact that there's so many people who struggle. I had a really wonderful person email me recently, but I can't reply to my email. So like even the email that people send stuff to, it's like info@Lunanite. Like it's not a personal email. Those of you who talk to me know like I have one email that like it's good to reach me at, and the other emails it's like really hard to get a hold of me because I don't really check those ones the same. They're more like junk, like they could get filled with junk and stuff. So somebody wrote me. I noticed that they wrote me, but I was like, okay, I'm here because I have other work that I have to do. And then they wrote me again, like in a week, saying that they were like, oh, I'm actually started writing you this. And then I got sad because I knew you would never reply. And I was like, oh, one of these. And then it was like, but then I saw your video on depression. And then I thought, oh my God, like this person has a life going on. And why am I over here like making like, oh, like they need to reply to me? I think that's one of the things like nobody sometimes thinks about that for some reason, right? It's like I'm going through a separation. Haha. Like my whole household is changing. I have all this stuff I'm doing and I'm and it's like this like demand, right? For like instant replies. It's like I'm not Google, I'm not. I'm just Jillian. All right. So sending you so much love. I'm going to hang up. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for those who tune in later. Thank you for being in this space. I just have so much love for you. And I hope that you have thank you, Kelly. I hope you have just like a beautiful, beautiful day, a beautiful weekend, recording the Zodiac theme video this weekend as well. So that one and another like little update one will be up for Patreon. And I also in the video, I'll tell you more of like the schedule that I'm planning for YouTube and everything. Bill, you're so funny. And, go from there. But just so much love. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon, and I hope you have a great day. All right. Later. Bye.